can be attracted, motivated, and so the wide publicity should be given so that they can easily attract the talented people. So here, as I said, recruitment involves attracting and obtaining as many applicants as possible from eligible job seekers. So it all depends upon the organization's effectiveness, how they carry out this process, how they take that vacancy position information to the job seekers, and wide publicity should be given. And they should consult the resources where this manpower is available so that the qualified, highly qualified and highly talented people will come to know about the job vacancies in the organization and they apply for that. So this will have definitely a bearing on other HR activities of the organization. So the initial stage, if the organization recruits right people, then they can minimize the cost of human resource practices. They need not spend a lot of time on training and developments and on supervision, because at the initial stage itself they are taking care to recruit the right people. If if they fail, if the organization fails in recruiting right people initially, then they have to spend a lot of money on training and development of the people who have been selected, and also to uh, 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 for the purpose of supervision of those employees. So these are the certain things the organization should keep in mind while recruiting the employees. Then here we have two types of recruiting: external recruiting and internal recruiting. So managers look outside the firm for people who have not worked at the firm before. So the recruitment uh, can be from external sources or internal sources. External sources, the organization look outside to fill the vacancies that arise in the organization. So managers advertise in newspapers, hold open houses, recruit at universities, that's campus placements, and on the internet. So this external recruitment is difficult since many new jobs have specific skill needs. A multi-pronged approach to external recruiting works best. It's difficult, while taking people from outside, it would be difficult to assess their skill level. Whereas the other source is internal recruiting. Here, internal recruiting within the organization, where these positions filled within the firm is called internal recruiting. So internal recruiting has several benefits. One is workers know the firm's culture, may not have new ideas. Already they are working with that organization. They will be given higher responsibilities through promotions. So managers likely already know the candidates. And internal advertisement can motivate employees. So it is easy to recruit people from internal sources. And it's difficult to recruit people from external sources. Honesty in hiring, as we have discussed in the previous this one, we have seen how effective HR department should be in recruiting. So managers may be tempted to overrate the attractiveness of the job and firm, in the sense that facts should be given to the prospective job seekers. If you say if you overrate your company, if you give wrong information, wrong image of, try to give wrong image about your company, then that is not an honesty. Honestly, the organization should give the information about the company, about the jobs, about the pay packages, about the benefits that the employees get once they join. This is very important, honesty in hiring. So if they give so many promises and they just to attract the highly talented people, that doesn't be a honesty in hiring. So they feel if they are honest, person will not work there. Research indicates this is a poor strategy. So in the long run, definitely people once join, they come to know whether the image they have created at the time of attracting the applications. Once they come to know, then they lose that faith, loyalty on the organization. So that is a poor strategy. There's managers overrating the job and firm at the time of attracting the applications. And another one is realistic job purview. The realistic job purview provides an accurate overview of the job and avoids having to hire, train, and then lose workers. So even giving all false information, overrating the firm and job, even you attract people after joining the organization. Once they come to know that there is nothing like that, definitely they'll leave the organization and go away. So that leads to additional cost for the organization. Let us discuss some of the factors governing recruitment. Uh, Given its key role and external visibility, recruitment is naturally subject to influence of several factors. So these include external as well as internal forces. So external forces, if you see, supply and demand, unemployment rate, labor market, political legal, sense of soil, image. All these are external forces that influence the recruitment, that govern the recruitment. And whereas when it comes to internal factors, recruitment policy, human resource planning, size of the firm, cost, growth, and expansion. These are the internal forces that govern the recruitment. So let us see external factors in brief. Of particular importance is the supply and demand of specific skills in the labor market. So if the demand for a particular skill is high relative to the supply, an extraordinary recruiting effort may be needed. For example, the demand for programmers and financial analysts is likely to be higher than their supply as opposed to the demand supply relationship for non-technical employees. So when the unemployment rate in a given area is high, the company's recruitment process may be simpler. The number of unsolicited applicants is usually greater, and the increased size of the labor pool provides better opportunities for attracting qualified applicants. So on the other hand, as the unemployment rate drops, recruiting efforts must be increased and new sources explored. So for a long time, the issue relating to unemployment haunted everyone in India. Policymakers, politicians, administrators, union leaders, and academicians used to harp on the problem frequently. Not anymore. 1.5 decades of liberalization has resulted in economic prosperity, making people forget about unemployment. So the issue now is employability and not unemployment. So any individual worth capable of something is sure of securing a job. Of course, in the private sector, there is no question of unemployment these days. Only point here is employability. Employability in the sense whether the candidate is ready with all skill set. If you have skill set, definitely you would get job. There's no question of unemployment these days. But thing is in the private sector. So labor market conditions is in a local area are of primary importance in recruiting for most non-managerial, supervisory and middle management positions. However, so far as recruitment for executive and professional positions is concerned, conditions of all India market are important. So another external factor is political and legal consideration. Reservation of jobs for SC, ST, minorities and other backward communities, OBCs, is a political decision. So there is a strong case for giving preference to people having or hailing from less advantaged sections of the society. Reservation has been accepted as inevitable by all sections of the society. Even the Supreme Court also has agreed upon 50% of reservations of seats and jobs. So here, the working conditions, compensation, retirement benefits, and safety and health of employees in industrial establishments is another aspect. Of course, there are acts which deal with recruitment and selection. Child labor Act 1986, for instance, prohibits employment of children in certain employments and seeks to regulate their working conditions in certain other employments. Similarly, we have the Employment Exchange Act 1959, which mandates that employers must notify the vacant positions to the employment exchanges. The Apprentices Act 1961 is another one. The Interstate Migrant Workmen Act 1979, the Factories Act 1948, and the Mines Act 1952 also deal with recruitment. So all these, above all these acts, we have the Constitution which prohibits discrimination in matters of employment and also provides for protective discrimination to the less privileged sections of the society. So that is equal opportunity for all is there, is a fundamental right. So preferences to sons of the soil is another political factor. So political leaders clamor that a preference must be given to the people of their respective states in matters of employment. So the company image also matters in attracting the large number of job seekers. Blue chip companies attract large number of applications. Infosys, for example, handles nearly 1 million applications per annum. Often it is not the money that it is important. It is the perception of the job seekers about the company that matters in attracting qualified prospective employees. So these are all external factors that govern the recruitment. When it comes to internal factors, uh, all that we have discussed so far are some of the external forces influencing the recruitment of an organization. So, in addition to this, there are certain internal forces which deserve consideration while recruiting personnel. So, one such internal factor is the recruiting policy of the organization. So, most firms have a policy on recruiting internally or externally. So generally the policy is to prefer internal sourcing, as own employees know the company well and can recommend candidates who fit the organization's culture. So another related policy is to have temporary and part-time employees. So an organization hiring temporary and part-time employees is in a less advantageous position in attracting sufficient applications. So in multinational corporations, there is a policy relating to the recruitment of local citizens. MNCs operating in our country prefer local citizens as they can understand local language, customs, and business practices better. So a major internal factor that can determine the success of the recruiting program is whether or not the company engages in human resource planning. So in most cases, a company cannot attract prospective employees in sufficient numbers and with required skills overnight. So it takes time to examine the alternative regarding the appropriate sources of recruits and the most productive methods for obtaining them. So once the best alternatives have been identified, recruiting plans may be made. The effective HRP greatly facilitates the recruiting efforts. Size is another internal factor having its influence on the recruiting process. An organization with 100,000 employees will find recruiting less problematic than a firm with just 100 employees. That's another internal factor. The cost is another internal factor. So cost of recruiting is yet another internal factor that has to be considered. The recruiting costs are calculated per new hire, and the figure is considerable nowadays. So recruitment must therefore operate within budgets. So careful human resource planning and forethought by recruiters can minimize recruitment costs. So one cost saving measure, for instance, is recruiting for multi